To anyone listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever part of the day you find yourself in, thank you very much for tuning into the After Sesh podcast. In this episode, myself and Aaron will be speaking about our fitness goals, our journey so far, and the journey that we hope to go on. And anyone that wants to join us on this is more than welcome to. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 5 long months and it's good to be back.
We back.
Good to see you, Aaron. Good to see you. And I actually have functional equipment this time, so who knows? Who knows? We
Yeah.
might actually be able to record a podcast with decent audio for once.
And I'm actually hands free. Woo.
Hands free, same here. No chance of my phone falling over this time, and I'm not even filming on it. So I feel like we're moving up in the world. How are we?
Good, we're back with a bang. We're back starting the new year off fresh with a challenge. We're getting ourselves right, we're getting our mindset right. Yeah, this year we're gonna fucking smash out of it, and that's what we're gonna talk about on this podcast. Just our goals for this year and just about fitness in general and about ourselves. Get our mindset right. Start this year off right because the past few years have been shite.
Yeah, on the fitness front, I'll agree with you. The last few years, I have been absolutely lacking on the fitness front, and the mindset has kind of fallen behind as a result of that. So, the best thing we could do, and it's the thing we have been doing, is getting the mind right to get the body right, and then once you have both of them right, you're in full flow, and try find something that's going to be able to stop you. Move mountains. We will be able to move mountains, no
We
problem.
will be fucking mountains by the end of it.
Yeah, dead right. Yeah, we will. Dan Boylan's going to make sure of that. And guys, anyone that's listening to this, if you're looking to get yourself in good nick or get yourself a bit of fitness or even a bit of fitness advice or dietary advice, please do yourself the favor of getting on to Dan Boylan PT or PT Dan Boylan. I can't remember the Instagram handle at the moment, and I'm sorry for that, Dan. But we will get you more customers.
It will be down below.
It will be down below. Link will be in the description. But yeah, now guys, Dan is an absolute legend. He's one of the lads. What happened was, but just before Christmas, he ran a competition on Instagram, and it was 8 weeks of PT classes. As a result, me and Aaron won.
Well,
As
you
a
won.
result
I
of
just
that,
tagged along.
yeah, well, I won and said, Aaron, ha 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 ha, you're doing this. Happy birthday.
I feel old.
So it's, as Aaron said, it's a great birthday present. Although he hates me right now, it's a great birthday present, which he will thoroughly enjoy, hopefully, in 8 weeks' time.
Yeah, that's how it all started off. And you know what? It was to kick up the arse I needed because I haven't trained or done any gym work in about 3 or 4 months. So when I heard about this and he asked me to do it, I was like, right, this is the boost I need. This is the kick up the arse I needed because I was our off season, nothing to do, had an exam, stressed and be fucking noggin. So I needed this, and we've done 2 classes already. I'm still fucking sore, and that's essentially how it started off. But the thing with me is it's the starting part that's the hardest. Once I'm going, like there's no stopping.
Yeah, once you're going, you're free flowing, bro. I know the feeling. It's like literally a snowball. It starts off at the top of the mountain, it builds up momentum and carries more snow, drags more with it, and by the end of it, you wouldn't want to get a smack of that thing. It won't be. It's not a normal snowball anymore, anyway. Well, yeah, look, I feel the exact same. I feel like as you said there, it was kind of an off season for both of us. Yourself with the GA being off, and myself was genuinely just picking up a cold or a flu or something like that every second or third week, and it was starting to get really irritating. And I've genuinely thought the only way I can get over this is to actually just go and train and break my body down rather than having my lungs or my head or my sinuses break me down first. So look, to be honest, you're right. The first few steps are always the hardest, but once you get the momentum going, it's all about keeping discipline then afterwards.
And you know what I want for people listening to this or watching this, I want you to join us on this journey. It's about 8 weeks, so I'm not saying get up and go to the gym every day. Pick something that you haven't done
Could
or
be
you
saying
want
that.
to do. Pick something that you want to do or have an interest in, whether it be go for a walk every day or read a book in 8 weeks. Like pick a goal you want to achieve within 8 weeks. Join us on this journey and you'll be surprised what you can achieve in 8 weeks. Let's say for argument's sake you pick to read a book within 8 weeks. You could do it in a form like shit, I can actually read 2 books in 8 weeks. Or if you picked to do what we're doing and go to the gym, the hardest part is actually get up and going. And people are probably afraid to go into a gym and don't know what they're doing and feel like they have to go in and go on the bench press straight away and do this, do that. But look, I've been to a few gyms and there is no shame in asking for help. That's what they're there for. They're there to make sure you can do everything properly. And you even see videos on TikTok and all that of like someone in the gym, they're kind of struggling, don't know what they're doing, and someone comes over and gives them a bit of hand. It's like, oh, can I give you a bit of advice? Your form, just drop the weight down, make sure you're doing it correctly first and foremost, and then work on building the weight. So pick something that's sitting there that you mean to do, whether it be start a podcast, YouTube channel, gym, gone for a walk, pick something and join us on this 8 week journey, and you'll be surprised what you can achieve in this 8 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think about 8 weeks in the grand scheme of what your life is, so most people on average, especially in Ireland, we're going to live about 82 years apparently. So I've heard. And if you think about what is 8 weeks in 82 years, it's absolutely nothing. You think about you're educated for what 14 or 15 years before you even go on to college or further education if you do so. So taking 8 weeks out of your life to reset yourself, to get your mind focused, get your body focused on getting yourself focused, getting yourself to the point where you want to be, or at least making the steps to get there. Trust me, you'll never thank anyone more than the After Sesh podcast for giving you the advice of using 8 weeks to sort yourself out. Last year, I think it was around May time I started going to the gym, and I took 3 months where I just put my head down. I'm not going to say I wasn't drinking or I wasn't partying. Like I was, of course I was. Like
It's
I
all
was.
about balance.
It's May. It's summertime. What the hell do you expect me to do? Of course, I'm
Yeah.
going to go out and have a few drinks and go to barbecues and eat burgers. Everyone's going to do that. But the pure fact that I was going and training between 4 and 7 times a week meant that if I'm eating something or I'm drinking something that maybe I shouldn't, maybe it's not the best for bodybuilding or putting on muscle, it's not going to be overly effective in the same way as if I had been sitting on the sofa doing sweet fuck all for 2 weeks and then I went, I'll eat a burger. Sure, you're not burning that off anytime soon. So, guys, genuinely, the best thing you can do if you find that your issue is with food, or if your issue is more so with food than it is the motivation to work out, just work out. Just work out, and you can still eat whatever you like, but go and work out. At least build up a sweat, and you'll start to realize the value of the food that you consume. You could take in 3,000 calories of absolute shit. What's going to happen? You're going to go to the gym, you're going to start lifting weights, you'll have a bit of a sugar rush at the start. Your sugar levels will drop, and you'll have a terrible performance in the gym that day. If you eat properly, you could eat 1,500 calories or 1,200 calories or 1,000 calories before going to the gym. Cut it down. Like I'm talking about 3 times less calories than the first one. And you will have the best lifting experience of your life because all you're doing is taking in the right macros, the right micros. Actually, look at your diet and break it down. I think I'm actually amazed at the amount of people, and myself included here, who didn't realize how much, like, that actually just didn't look into weighing the food that we're using before using it and before eating it, before fucking making it. Because what I thought 50 grams of chicken is a lot less than what 50 grams of chicken actually is. You know what I mean?
I thought you know about the grams.
Oh, you think so, wouldn't you? Like me, analytical brain here, but was get yourself a little weighing scale, weigh your food out, portion it out, and go and work out and get the ball rolling. Look, everyone says New Year, new me, and everyone starts the gym in January. Start doing a bit of calisthenics, a bit of yoga, Pilates, do anything you can at home. Build yourself up, little walks, jogs, anything like that. Try to hit your 10K steps or between 7 and 10K. It's not that much to ask that someone puts an hour aside a day to work on themselves for self-development. You
Even
know?
something as stupid as leaving the car at home and walking to the shops.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. It's every little thing. Take the stairs instead of the lift. Maybe like every time you're watching TV and every time an episode ends, drop and do 10, 20 push-ups. You know what I
Come
mean?
and give me 20.
Drop and do squats, like something like that. Just to keep yourself entertained, to keep the body moving. Otherwise you're gonna get too sedimentary. You're gonna sit still and nothing is gonna go for you. Like I don't think I've ever accomplished anything by sitting on the sofa watching TV. And
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like in
true.
the last year I've accomplished about 10 times more personally and professionally than I have in the last 10 years. So it only takes a little bit of movement, guys, and a little bit of confidence, a little bit of motivation, and a shitload of discipline after a while to get yourself in the right mind frame. And Aaron will love this because I'm quoting the man himself, his favorite person on the planet at the minute, Jürgen. You have to become a mentality monster. That's the
Yeah, the
most
Jurgen.
important thing I've found in any way, shape, or form. If you want to go on any sort of fitness journey, become a mentality monster. Look at yourself, but look at yourself as you actually are. Not how you see yourself or how you want other people to see you, how you actually are. Stand in front of that mirror, and I want you to say to yourself, if I was a guy or a girl or whoever you're into, would I want to get with me? right? And genuinely answer that honestly. And I don't want to hear people in the comments go, I wouldn't get with me, I wouldn't get with me, I wouldn't get with me. I don't care. This is for you to ask yourself, you know? I'm not going to be developing for you. You're going to be developing for yourself. So ask yourself, would you be attracted to you if you're a member of the opposite sex or a member of the sex that you're up for getting it on with, right? And if the answer is no, then get your ass to the gym. Get yourself on a good diet and make yourself into the version of yourself that you find is the best version of yourself. So I found at the start, the way that I kept my discipline, the way that I kept my motivation was I imagined in my head the best version of myself and what the best version of myself would be able to do in terms of cardiovascular output, in terms of strength, whether it's particular lifts, whether it's bench press or deadlifts or squats, anything like that. I imagined when I'm doing them, okay, I'm at this level now, but he's that far ahead, and that's who I'm chasing. You're chasing yourself in the future and pushing away the version of yourself from the day beforehand. You can only compete with yourself. Beat the person you were yesterday and go and try kick the ass of the person you're going to be in 10 years.
Like, we're not telling people to drop everything they're doing and go start eating greens, go to the gym 7 times a week. It's all about the balance, as I said. Because I'm
Oh,
the most fussy as you'll ever meet, and I'm not going drastically change my diet because it does affect you after 2 or 3 weeks. Start craving the junk food more then. So it's all about bring the balance. I feel because with me, like I don't eat fruit at all. So what I'm doing is I'm incorporating smoothies into it. So I experimented for a while and I found a good mixture. It's only something plain and simple. It's the blueberries, raspberries, bit of protein in a smoothie, and I have that probably nearly every morning. And like even change things rather than having cereal, have a bit of fucking scrambled egg or something. Little small changes, not go have your takeaways, go have a drink, but rather than having two takeaways a week, have one. Rather than going and drinking twice a week, go out once. Like small changes, don't like we're not telling you to go run 10K the first day and don't drink for the whole whatever. Like if that's your goal, not to drink, off you go. If your goal is to try to get a promotion, work towards that, go study something for 8 weeks or like it's all about balance and small changes. And then once you start building them habits, you can start building on them. Because it takes about what 4 to 6 weeks to break a habit, and this is an 8 week challenge. So by the end of it, you'll be a different person. So
exactly.
by the end of this, like I'm not tracking my food or whatever. Like I'm bringing stuff in and trying to take stuff out. So I'm not trying to eat much junk food. I'm not trying to eat many takeaways and bringing in smoothies, eating more protein. Like just small things that just to try help me. And even going to the gym, like I'm not going 5 to 7 days a week and going 2 or 3. The first week I just done the 2 classes with Dan. We'll get on to that in a minute. And then over the next few weeks, I'm going to do the classes as well as one gym session by myself. I'm going to take the dog out for a longer walk rather than just going up and around the park and back. I might go up and around the park, then back around the block, and then back in an extra 10 minutes on a walk or something.
Yeah.
Even do 2 walks. Like these small changes, you'll see a difference within the 8 weeks. So this is why we want to encourage people to pick something small and try join us, and then come the 8 weeks. I think Dan agreed to it, did he? He's gonna come on, have a chat with us, and
No, I'm not sure
see.
if he's agreed fully yet. I'd imagine.
Well,
I'd
after this, he
imagine we'll
has.
have to ask him and confirm and get the dates right. But hopefully, we can get that on at some stage.
Well, hopefully, we're gonna get other guests on as well along the way, like probably nutritionists or people that have their own gyms, PTs. Just little things to keep you motivated. And look, if you have a journey as well, and you want to come on and chat about it,
Who
off you
knows? We
come.
might get the odd professional athlete on as well, just to really inspire you guys.
But the other thing, like about, I said about my exam there, like that was torturous. Like when I got my book, it was probably October time. I got the book, and the exam was January. I was kept putting off and putting off and putting off. But then I realized if I start small and build up, I have 2 months to this exam.
Exactly.
You think that's not too, that's so close. But if you actually sit down and think about it, if I do an hour a day, that's plenty. And start off small, build it up, and you'll be surprised what you can achieve within the 8 weeks. So I'm just
I just
trying
want
to.
Sorry, I just want to touch on what you said there a minute ago about what you were saying about start small, introduce these small changes, and that's genuinely probably the best way to go about it. Because what you're not doing, and it's the main thing you're not doing here, is you're not overwhelming yourself. You know what I mean? Either in a physical or mental capacity. Because the worst thing you can do when you're working out is to go, or like you're trying to cut weight, or you're trying to get yourself in good nick, or even just in the right frame of mind. The worst thing you can do is be stressing. And if you get overwhelmed, your cortisol is going to shoot up and you are going to be stressed. And
Yeah.
when you're stressed, naturally people either lose or put on weight. And I think people going on a fitness journey here are probably going to be more worried about putting on the weight than losing the weight. You know what I mean?
And the number
So
one thing to do is enjoy it. If you're going to the gym and not enjoying it, try make it fun. Try go with a mate. Try make it fun. Try do classes. They're fun. They're energetic. Like try make it fun. Like going for a walk. Listen to our podcast. Plug it out there. Listen to music. Do walk the dog. Like
there's so many alternatives out there. If you don't want to go to the gym and you don't want to run on a treadmill or go for a jog or just go and lift weights or use machines, there's always alternatives out there. You can go for a sea swim, you can go out and just go on hikes. Myself, what I was saying is what I found the greatest benefit from is using the sauna. So I use the sauna between 4 and 7 times a week for at least now at this stage 35 minutes. But I had to build myself up from only being able to do 8 to 7, or 7 to 8 to 8 to 12, up to 12 to 15. And then one day, and I was ecstatic when this happened. Now I was drained, I was wrecked. I got myself to 22 minutes in the sauna and I was absolutely delighted with myself. But now what I found is after getting out of the on that day, after getting out, my legs were like jelly. I felt ill, I felt lightheaded, and I don't think I'd sit there for that long again. But I have the capacity now to sit there for 15 minutes, then do another 15 minutes, and then do between 5 and 10 minutes to finish it off. And it's just about getting out, cooling off, and then getting back in and just letting your body acclimatize. And as I said there a few moments ago, about not getting overwhelmed. Like if you were to sit there for an hour altogether, all at once, you're going to be overwhelmed as fuck and you're not going to enjoy the experience. But if you go in for 10 minutes, get out for two, in for 10, out for two, in for 10, out for two, and do your full hour, you're going to come out of that being like, wow, I feel amazing after this. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're not overwhelming yourself. You're not going, okay, I have this enormous goal I must achieve. You're going small, realistic, relative goals that will help me get to where I need to be. That is the best advice I could ever give anyone in regards to any sort of fitness or any sort of endeavor they want to explore. There's a reason that there's an allegory of slow and steady wins the race. Everyone's heard of the tortoise and the hare, and there's no problem being the tortoise in life. In my experience, being the tortoise, quite like being Switzerland, is probably the best way to go about it in most areas.
just going back there the other day for the class done on Thursday. Like it's only the second class, and I had a long day. I was not in the humour going. I was tired, drained. I was only home and I had to be outdoor within 5-10 minutes. Like I was not in the humour going. But after I went to the class, after I'd done the class, I felt fresh. I was buzzing. My body felt awake. I had loads of energy. The hardest part, as I said, is actually getting up and going some days when you don't feel like going. And what I used to hate was when I knew I had to go to the gym on that day, I'd come home and I wouldn't be in the humour at all. But the minute got off the couch or whatever, I'm like, right, I'm up now. I have to go. I'd go in, I'd take my jumper off, change clothes. I'm like, right, I'm putting on my gym gear. I have to go now. There's no backing out. Like the minute you get up off that couch, you're like, right, I'm gone. The hardest part is actually getting up. And I felt like that a few times. It's not going to be easy, but afterwards, when you do go, you do feel great after it. Like you do feel shy beforehand. Like as I said, I was feeling tired and all. Then afterwards, I felt like a new man. I felt fresh. My body felt energized. I felt like I actually done something. And I was more proud of actually going that day. I felt better that day than I did on the first day because I dragged myself there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it is going to be tough, but the minute you make that initial step, that's it. Your body just takes over. You're in autopilot. You're gone. And if you go to the gym and you don't want to go and do all the machines, or I'll just even go put the treadmill on the incline and walk on it. I know you're going to the gym to do a walk, but that incline, you'd be surprised how much calories that burns and how much you build with sweat. Even doing the stairmaster, even doing the cross trainer, the rowing, like all these things, you don't realize how much it actually burns calories. So,
oh, of course.
like, I'm not saying go in and bench, squat and all. Like, yeah, it'd be great to do a compound lifts and all, but do the simple things first and do them right.
Yeah, exactly. And come here, one of the most important things, and it's something we haven't actually touched on today, is make sure that you're getting adequate rest.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I don't really sleep too well. Everyone on this podcast is probably well aware that I only get about 4 hours sleep most nights. So Yeah, that's my issue. But over the last week, since we started training, I've found that I've been a lot more burnt out. I've had a lot less energy, and I have tended to actually get an 8 hour sleep the last few nights. So that's been pretty fun. But in terms of building muscle and retaining testosterone levels at a high level, or even trying to promote higher testosterone levels, it's been proven scientifically that your sleep and your rest, your quality of sleep is so important. Like if you sleep like me, 4 hours a night or 5 hours a night, and then you get a really good sleep at the weekend because you had a few beers. That is not quality sleep. It's not quality sleep during the week for 4 hours, and it's not quality sleep for the 12 hours or the 8 hours that you get of sleep because you had a few beers. Your body is not made to function like that. You should be getting a sleep. You should be working out. Like, I feel like we're saying a lot of things that people already know, but I
I
feel like
know.
anytime that people talk about fitness stuff, everyone kind of reiterates the same sort of things, right? But I think, right, genuinely, because I can see that the time is almost running out on this, I feel like we do need to give a bit more of a shout out to the Dan Boylan fella and to everyone else that's going up to the classes, because it's not just ourselves. The work rate from the others that have been up there has been something to really, really take in. And it's kind of inspired me to do more. Like when you see someone else that maybe you think in your own head and your own unconscious bias, I didn't think you'd be able to do that. I didn't think you'd be lifting that much. Do you know what I mean? It pushes me then to go, well, if they can do it, I can do something like that, or I can push myself to do it. You know what I mean? It's about taking the inspiration from others around there and giving the plaudits what plaudits are deserved. There's some people up there training with Dan the last couple of months, and you can really see the benefits of it. I won't say it to you as our faces because I don't want you getting too cocky, but genuinely, you know who you are, and your work has been brilliant. The work you're putting in is fantastic, and well done to all this.
Like you when you got on the leg press machine after me, brought you back down to earth.
That really
Like
did, guys. This is embarrassing as fuck. But come here, look, we're not about ego lifting here. So I will say I have the stronger upper body out of me and Aaron. Aaron quite clearly, and now he put me to fucking shame the other night, literally. Aaron has the strong, like, my God, like, he fucking lifting twice the amount of me as I am on legs. I don't know how this man does it. Like, the
and I have
power
one
he
bad
must,
leg as well.
what?
I have one bad leg as well.
Yeah, fella has one gammy leg, like, as we discussed on the first episode of the podcast. Bed knobs, broomsticks, and broken legs, or whatever we call it. But yeah,
Yes.
guys, this like that's another show. That's something that actually I do like that Dan does. Even though you think of yourself, I'm focusing on myself. Say you're doing curls, you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your lift, you're focusing on the squeeze and the tear, and then all you hear in the background is "good job, good lifting, great form," something like that. As much as you might not think that's going to affect you, you hear
Oh, it
that in one
does.
ear, it doesn't leave the other ear. It stays there, and you're like, right, if I'm doing good form now, let's keep going with good form, and it'll almost push it on. Or in my case, anyway, to do an extra 3 or 4 reps if I can, or as many as you can. Like really try and burn yourself out and get the most out of it. And I have to say, fair play to Dan for that. He really does run a tight ship. He's enthusiastic as fuck, and the man knows what he's talking about. So once again, if anybody really, really feels like they want to get themselves into good nick, get on to Dan Boylan. He knows exactly what to do, and the link will be in the description below.
Do you know what I love as well? When it comes to the end of the set we're doing on the round, the last like 10, 20 seconds, trying to encourage people to get that last few reps going. Like you're sitting there probably huffing and puffing. You're like, right, 10 seconds left, get it. Let's get out another two or something. And
Mm.
just them last two make a big difference. And like I was just thinking there while you were going on, like people might not have the time. They're like, oh, but yeah, like I'd love to do all this, but I don't have the time. Incorporate something into it. If you're on a lunch break and have 45 minutes an hour, half an hour walk, 20-minute walk while you eat if you want. As I said earlier, walk to the shop rather than take the car. Like I always try find an excuse for everything, but time shouldn't be one of them. You can incorporate it if you really want it, no matter what
You're
it
right.
is.
We all have the same 24 hours in the day to be
Don't you
working.
start
No, it
that.
is true though. We all have the same 24 hours a day to be working with. And obviously people have different situations, whether some people have kids or they're doing shift work. But it's all about finding the time to get, as I said earlier, find an hour a day to give back to yourself. You have 24 of them and you can't find one for yourself. That means there's something going fundamentally wrong in how you're running your life. There's Professor Jordan Peterson said, and I live by this at this moment, right? It's one of his 12 rules for life, and it's treat yourself like someone you are responsible for taking care of. And that is my main mission this year, is to treat myself like I am my own patient, to look at where my fundamental flaws are, to look at where I can get better, and to look at how I'm going to get better.
And honestly, no one's going to judge you. No one gives a fuck what you're doing. You may think
Exactly.
that, but it's on your head. It's not.
Yeah. The
And just
most
try enjoy it. Try go to a class where there's more people. You will enjoy it. Try go with me. Just enjoy the process. And Look, this has just been a quick thing for us. We're gonna do longer episodes over the 8 weeks. We'll keep you updated, go through what we're eating, how we're feeling, what we're doing, different things we're doing. We'll go in more in depth, but this is just a quick initial podcast we do, just kick things off. As we said, starting off slowly, like we said earlier, taking our own advice, and we're going to build on that. Like with this podcast, we started off shy, everything, shy.
Equipment, shy camera gear,
Oh,
shy production,
even the
shy
pic,
hosts.
even the fucking logo, like everything's changed. So just
The
keep
only good
going.
thing we started off with, Aaron, was good guests.
Yeah, and then it went downhill. But look, we're gonna end this episode here and keep you updated. Follow our socials, follow Dan. Everything's gonna be down below, and we'll keep you updated over the next 8 weeks. And send us a message. Tell us what you're doing, what you're starting, and how you're feeling. Just keep us updated yourself. And well, gonna be doing this weekly. That's our challenge for ourselves, to do this weekly for the 8 weeks. Keep us updated. So, look, thanks for listening to us today. Give us a follow, give Dan a follow, and make sure you do start something, because you will feel the benefits of it.
Exactly, Aaron. Couldn't have said it better myself. Everybody, make sure that you look after yourselves and look after each other. It's long that from the office.